All right, partner. We are going to see how many seconds of this highly intelligent video can play before Phoenix Calida wants to stop and make a comment. All right. You know how Phoenix Calida, an argumentative black woman that just can't shut it up for a second and let somebody, drop knowledge, as it were.
Drop knowledge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So apparently words mean any fucking thing these days. All right.
Don't want to talk about is it's like you have these get more bodies. You now one day you want to settle down and try to have a happy housewife life. And it's like after having all these bodies and having all this memory of these different men going in and out of you, you think you're not going to just be able to just sit down one day and submit to a man and stay loyal to a man after you've had all those different bodies and all those different spirits going in and out of you?
Oh, Jesus. How the fuck did she manage to nail like 4 different shitty points in 30 seconds?
Practice.
Oh my God. All
Practice
right. So
makes P-word.
First of all, having sex does not make you cheat. And if having sex does make you cheat, I have some questions about men. Okay? What? I have some questions about men. If having sex makes you prone to cheating. Secondly, again, they never fully explain what submission is, but that probably makes it easier because then you also can't fully explain why someone who's had sex can't be submissive, whatever the fuck that means.
I told my wife, I said, well, honey, Big Daddy's about to take out the one-eyed devil in our house.
That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I just want to put that out there.
He said that to a congregation, folks. That sound drop is from a pastor.
And also, like, I hate the fear-mongering aspect of it. This whole, like, you're never gonna find someone. Because people who've had sex get in relationships all the time. Like, many a sex worker I know is in a relationship. I know many a sex worker who was married. I know people, who had the college experience, right? Where you're just out having fun in college, who are now married and happy. So it's also
that's a lot of my friends list on Facebook.
Like it's, so obviously it's a lie, but what is interesting at the end, she said spirits in you. So like,
yeah.
So he's just leaving spirits in you.
What's interesting is that, so what the fuck is going on with all these men that left their spirit in a woman? Are these just some fucking, like, spiritual zombies?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so men really shouldn't be allowed to lead anything then because y'all gave up your spirits.
Yeah, you're just, you're an unincorporated flesh factory.
Yeah.
Ew.
I mean...
I will think of better words.
But yeah, it really is that thing about the idea that putting a penis in someone devalues them. So I gotta be like, what the fuck wrong with your dick then? Why does it devalue? Like, what's wrong with you and your genitals that they devalue other people via contact?
Also, yeah, and why is your spirit getting out so easy? Like,
right.
Your vas deferens are too wide.
Vas deferens deformity.
Yeah, like, I think someone, like, how do they put the husband stitch needs to be to make your pee-pee hole smaller.
Oh.
That's the real husband.
Real husband stitch.
If spirits are getting out, we need to work on that. And also, why is your spirit in your scrotum and not in your brain? And also, then what's the use of the third eye, if your spirit's here? What is that?
It doesn't have to make sense, okay? But what also is fascinating about that is it also like low-key implies that like all sex is the same to women, right?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept to me because one of the biggest complaints that you hear when people are speaking in generalizations about cis heteroromantic relationships is it's always the men are like, we've been married for 2 years, we don't have sex anymore. We never have sex anymore. But you're also arguing that women who that all sex is the same for women, and like those things don't really mesh together because so. By saying you have all these bodies and these men are leaving their spirits in you and you can't submit to a man because you have all these bodies. So what you're saying is that to a woman, a one-night stand in college holds the same emotional weight as, a 5-year relationship that you were in that didn't work out.
And, really,
and it's like, how are you pretending these sexual experiences are the same?
And the biggest problem that these men have emotionally, well, first off, is the idea that, like, sex is some crazy, wacky thing that, whoa, needs to be, like, let go of the puritanical shit, right? But another part is a common male practice that I've seen across this whole continent, coast to coast, Midwest, South, seen it. Slut shaming and all this kiss and tell shit. Your big problem is that you don't want to be with a woman and you're like in love, as it were, and you want to build a family and build a life, the whole plan is out, but then you're somewhere and you hear a man saying, yeah, I was hitting that. Like, that bugs you. Hell, I remember, like, and I know one, what?
I was gonna say, I just add on to that. What was it Nas said?
Oh, quote, imagine a grimy nigga like me fucking your bitch.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of, but also that one
Okay.
was with the Jay-Z thing. What was the first thing he said?
Oh, he asked her, and this is from I think either the Vlad TV interview or Source magazine. He said, is his bigger than mine?
Right. And it's like, that's your real fucking fear right there. And I think that's the obsession with seeing women as sort of like property to colonize. The only thing that matters to them is who got there first.
I think that also comes with black men having an understanding of white supremacy and patriarchy, which I don't like. I almost use the language sexual access. That sounds kind of gross. But as far as like white men in that patriarchy, look, they're going to be more sexually active than you, and with the women that are in your demographic, fucking deal with it, right? And I think that's why so many black men over the decades, before I was born, wholeheartedly, happily accept the black man big penis myth.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, at least I have this myth, right? Even though I look down and totally not myth.
Yeah, I wish I could find that Tupac interview where he was talking about that, and he was like, because black men are taught the only thing they have of value is their sexuality. And I was like,
It was Tupac?
I'm pretty sure it was Tupac, yeah.
Tupac, and we know that Malcolm X had the one that were in his autobiography, which, hey, shout out to Mr. Lund if you're still alive. For our history class, that white man read us Malcolm X's autobiography.
Nice.
And Roots.
Nice.
Like, and we were, not we, them Hilltop kids were so bad. They were so bad. God. Okay, but fucking, yeah, like Malcolm X was like, that's why black men want sexual access to white women as like some sort of getting one up on the white man. And even more, because, anecdotal evidence is a great way to make arguments. Like, I remember when I was about 11 and, riding my bicycle, like in little wooded areas in Spanaway through the trails. And, you find a Hustler magazine. Hey, boobies. Then the boobies part, okay, I saw those. Now I'm actually reading the articles for some reason. and one of them was like a black male writer, whether real or fake. And, like, his whole thing was like, I'm having sex with white women to get back at these. Kept saying honkies. It was so corny. Like, even then, it's a corny-ass word.
Yeah, but the whole thing as a concept is so stupid. Like, what do you... Like, I mean, I guess you were a kid, so this would have been like the 80s? So, like, Did Ronald Reagan get his feelings hurt by this? Did Ronald Reagan find out? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how did you affect white supremacy in any meaningful capacity by having sex with white women? At fucking all. Like, at the most, all you're doing is creating interpersonal drama if her family is mad that she has sex with black people. Like, that's it at the most. Like, you're not fucking challenging white supremacy.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's
like,
so weird.
You achieved ejaculation into a body that you found attractive and that you are proud to brag about to other men. That is all the did.
It's weird.
All right. We really go way the fuck off of shit on one sentence. All right. Let's see where Homegirl goes. Again, we're going to see how far it can go before Phoenix Kalita says no, nigga.
And so it's like, not only is there, to me, there's the physical risk that you can have, whether it's pregnancy, whether it's STDs. Some of these dudes could be, who knows? I mean, some of the guys could be dangerous. Who knows? But even apart from that, now you're talking about, this is more experience, more and more experience, more mileage you're adding to your body. And then if you think you have some of these men, and some of these men literally have for a living. So if you, for lack of a better term, you're going and you're engaging in prostitutes, you're engaging with men who basically their profession apart from whatever else they do on the side.
No, I have to hit stop. So all these men out here are sex workers? Excuse me,
there's
ma'am?
no fucking way.
What the fuck? You can't even argue against that because that's too stupid to take serious.
They're having sex professionally. All right.
Excuse,
okay.
Really? That's what's happening? All these
Okay.
niggas out here are charging a fee.
Mm-hmm.
That would be on so... You know how viral that would be if that was really going on? That would be the #1 topic, not just a throwaway line in your bullshit video.
All I want to point out is that I know a lot of sex workers because of my job, and even the male sex workers, they cannot be escorts successfully. Most of them who are see couples.
Yeah.
They also, in addition to doing like in-person sex work, if they only see female clients, they also have like an OnlyFans, or they also like shoot porn, or like there's not
like, or there has to be a novelty, right? Like if I did sex work, like the novelty would probably be like, you're gonna invite your friends, it's gonna be a show, because while I do it, I'm gonna battle rap my partner like while we're at it, you know.
I am telling you, you need to get into the insulting white men thing. I am telling you. But yeah, that's just such a goofy thing to say that. And also the whole like you're putting mileage on your body thing is such a bizarre argument to me. You know, and as has been pointed out, we're like, so you're telling me that 10 dicks will ruin a vagina, but 1 dick 10 times won't? Okay. So you say you're putting mileage on your body. So, okay, like whatever, fine. You're a virgin until you're 25, you get married, you have sex. You're telling me that the first year of your marriage, when presumably, according to stereotypes, y'all be fucking like rabbits, is going to put more mileage on your body than if you would have had sex twice in college.
But then also, I want to know this. Let's take a woman a man doesn't know that has had a lot of sexual partners. Let's throw a number out there. 200. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
200. If she's not from his town, so he doesn't know any of the men slut-shaming her and kissing and telling, how does he know?
He doesn't. But they pretend they do. It feels different. What the fuck does that mean? How? Explain how. Because no, it doesn't.
And just going by the type of niggas that say it feels different, you're just going by, this is what level of drunk you were when you finally achieved an erection. Talking about it or this is just the different fucking generic condom that you picked up at Planned Parenthood on the way because you won't break out the money for a high quality product at the damn Walgreens.
Yeah, and like, I wish it wasn't like so disgusting to address it, but I dead ass like, no, I would put blindfolds on these guys and, you know, let them put their hand in 10 different vaginas. Tell me which one has had the most sexual partners. But you can't really do that because that's gross and I just don't want them putting their hands in vaginas. But you know what I mean?
No, I'm clipping that out of context. That's gonna happen. Now, like, everybody's just gonna feel free to say, put your hand in 10 different vaginas. Really? Is that what this podcast is about?
That's what this podcast is about. But like, seriously though, they can't tell. And it's very weird that they pretend that they can, because no, you can't. No, you can't. And, you know, it's funny from like a historical perspective, because like in the Old West during the gold rush, this is a thing that happened. Obviously lots of sex workers, right? Because you just got like a huge ass population of men who are working and have some money. Sex workers followed. One of the biggest things that would happen is that sex workers from Europe would come over, but not just any sex workers, like poor sex workers, street-based sex workers, right? So like the poorest, most vulnerable sex workers came over here, went out west, and they were making fucking bank solely because they had foreign accents. Everyone assumed they were high class.
That was like something I realized like very early in my mid-teens, you know, which is why I'm very glad to have the internet I have, because I could find other people that were thinking the same shit at that time. Because like it can, I think, feel isolating. Like no one else sees this shit. And I started hearing it in my preteens, and by my mid-teens, I figured out what you just said. Because I would keep hearing men from California and New York and elsewhere saying that Southern black women are uniquely sexy. And it's they just have an accentuation, and they probably have more Pentecostal ones that aren't allowed to wear pants.
Yep.
It's all the fuck it is.
Yep. And really, I think with that, the whole ultimate thing about, you want to talk about sex ruins a vagina. We all know what a fleshlight is, right?
Oh, Yeah, Joe Rogan used to say. For some reason, I really heard that as flashlight, and I was like, "Where's this going?"
Yeah,
Fleshlight. Yes.
But fleshlight. What thing that fleshlight does?
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, if people don't know, it's a sex toy, right? And it's shaped like a vagina. You can put the penis in it. They base them off sex workers' vaginas, like porn performers' vaginas. So if
inconvenient fact,
if dicks ruin, let's just be honest. If a dick ruins a pussy, why y'all putting your dicks in pussies that are straight up molded out of porn star pussy?
Yeah, because
but getting off on it. But getting off on this pocket pussy shit.
Yeah.
So no, it fucking doesn't, because Fleshlight would be out of business if dicks ruined vaginas.
But instead, they're so in business that Joe Rogan advertises them, and that's business.
Yeah.
God damn.
So,
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun
yeah.
facts.
Yeah, they actually, because porn performers will be like, oh, got my mold done, here's mine. Like, you can pick different porn performers and get sex toys that are literally molded based off their genitals, off their, yeah. But they want to convince me that fucking a dick will ruin it. Okay. All right.
Is to pleasure women. You go and have those experiences. Now, any and every man that you interact with, you're going to be judging based upon that. You're going to be judging based upon that fantasy. And then now you're supposed to just sit down one day and then just...
Wait, what fantasy? What the hell did she say?
She said fantasy, but she meant history.
Oh, gee. Oh, God. Because this is the same one with speculation and introspection. All right. Homegrown intellectualism.
Words are a challenge for her. Misogyny isn't. Words are.
Misogyny is... Hell, misogyny as a word is.
Oof.
Who basically, their profession, apart from whatever else they do on the side, is to pleasure women. You go and have those experiences. Now, any and every man that you interact with, you're going to be judging based upon that. You're going to be judging based upon that fantasy. And then now you're supposed to just sit down one day and then just have a happy-go-lucky and be satisfied in that relationship. I'll compare him to that.
Actually interesting to me. So you're saying that she's saying that if you've had a bunch of sex, you can't be sexually satisfied with your current partner in a marriage. But then we are also telling me that sex is the only thing that motivates women. So it's not about your compatibility. It's not about your ability to be friends with your partner. It's not about the life goals that you all are making together, the life y'all are building together. It's not a, you know what I mean? Like, y'all are going to give that up because you have a fantasy about what sex could be?
Which tells me who your audience is. By virtue of having the words high body count in big red letters, and then making sex the only part of a human companionship between man and women.
Yeah. Like,
nigga, you're entertaining misogynistic men, and it's very obvious.
Yeah.
It's like I said, like, even in the 80s, Shahrazad Ali was an obvious, right?
That's what you've been saying. That's what I say too.
See? Hey, great minds, buddy. Great fucking minds over here.
Oh, cool. I love stupid bullshit like this.
To that fling that you had in Jamaica. And so I think also women start...
Also, again, these are the men's talking points she's saying. They saw Stella got her groove back and said, that's every black woman I disagree with now.
Now, see, I know she'll never do it, honestly, because clearly she's a grifter who panders to misogynists. But in this whole, she's talking about women are going to leave because they're unhappy with their sex lives. Then encourage men to talk to women about what makes them sexually happy. Because I'm willing to bet a great portion of her audience would be offended if their partner was using a vibrator or a dildo or ass. You know what I mean? I bet you. Because that's a thing is this whole, I find to be with this masculine versus feminine, dominant, submission, weirdo shit they be talking about. They want sex to be whatever the man wants it to be. The women's pleasure is not part of the focus. But now, instead of addressing why it's not the focus, which is because of misogyny, you're saying it's because she's had good sex before. So basically, her whole argument boils down to never have candy until you get married, because if you know what candy you like, you don't know that you're married to a fucking Mounds bar, right? Is that the one with the coconuts in it? Them shits is gross. But yeah. Like
Fuck
that.
them.
Like that's basically her whole argument is don't have pleasure before you're married because then you're going to miss it later. Because if you're in a true submissive wife position, your sexual pleasure doesn't matter anymore.
And so, like, even with the head wrap on and naming herself after that old mythical shit, you know, and the whole Pan-African image and whatnot, she's still pushing a white Christian puritanical ideal.
Yep.
Y'all niggas have no idea how
Again,
westernized you are.
conventional wisdom. She's not bringing her own thoughts into this. She is finding ways to repeat conventional wisdom. And conventional wisdom, especially in this country, is based on white supremacy and Christianity.
Conventional wisdom, family, in this country is based on white supremacy and Christianity and its capitalist child.
But that, and I'm serious though, because I guarantee you, if you were to go back and talk to the men who are fans of her, they would tell you that it is disrespectful to them to ask them to be more sexually considerate of their wives. I would lay money on it.
Clowns. Listen to us. Don't listen to them.
Don't
We're
listen to
right
them.
and they're wrong.
We are right. They
Right
are
at this
wrong.
point, yeah, I'm tired of fucking trying to be humble about the shit. Fact is, we're smart, they're stupid, we're right, they're wrong. Our thoughts are big, their thoughts are little, and there's nothing they can do about it. Okay? Throw them in the chokey.
Throw them in the jokey.
Start setting themselves up because it's like there's more mileage, and then now you're creating an appetite for something that is largely unrealistic. And then now everything
Enjoyable
that you do,
sex is actually unrealistic for cis hetero women. That's why they have the lowest orgasm rate out of anybody. Cis men, gay, hetero men, gay men, bisexuals of any gender, lesbians all have more orgasms than cis hetero women. Every single fucking demographic. Even other demographics that include cis women. Like lesbians and bisexuals still have more orgasms than women in cis hetero relationships. Yeah, all right. Again, you don't get to have nice things if you're a woman, a real woman, because being a woman, honestly, in the society is defined by how much trauma, abuse you can take and how many sacrifices you're willing to make. Your entire existence is based on pain and sacrifice.
Like, I'm telling you, like, what she's doing here intellectually, I don't know, right? I'm, as she would say, speculating in the same way she would say it.
Right.
That what she's doing is akin to like something that I've seen in real time and I've heard about. I think it's a large enough phenomena that it's worth talking about with dark-skinned black people, dark-skinned black women in particular, and like when young black girls are going into or are already in puberty, sabotaging their hair, cutting it off, giving it a fucked up perm to give it alopecia. Like, so many dark-skinned black girls' hair is short in their adulthood because it was sabotaged in their childhood by a dark-skinned black woman. She has probably had some relationship failures in her time that were most likely the fault of the men that did whatever the fuck they did to her. Not what happened to her, what was done to her.
Yes.
And now she sits up on here and puts, you know, I'm going to say it, she puts makeup on her aging black face. Her black is cracking. I can see it in the smile lines. And she's trying to sabotage other younger black women with stupid shit so that as she ages, she's clearly in her mid-40s.
Yeah, I mean, well, isn't that like a thing we constantly see in American culture? Not even just like in black spaces or even relationship spaces, but also like this is the same argument as student loan debt.
Yes.
Why do you get your student loan debt forgiven? I had to pay mine. I had a miserable time. Why should you get to be in a relationship that's emotionally satisfying and sexually satisfying? I didn't get to have happiness. Why do you get to have happiness? Like,
Right.
That's the whole fucking, but again, as you know, the earlier segment, you were saying like, don't kick the ladder from out behind you. Just because I went through some shit, I don't want kids to go through the shit I went through. I don't want anybody to go through some of the shit I went through. What the fuck is wrong with you sociopaths that you're like, keep it going for another generation? This is why we have generational trauma, people. Well, I mean, not the only reason, but a big part of the reason that we have generational trauma.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you want young people to deal with the shit you had to go through? For what?
And I can't even, it's not even like the kicking over the ladder metaphor. You never got up. Yeah, it's like you fell off the ladder, and every time you see someone going up it, you shake it.
No, not even that.
Oh,
It's
I
you
see.
fell off the ladder, but you built a wall to block where the ladder is so the other people can't even fucking find it and try to fucking climb up it. You're like, it's behind locked doors. Sorry.
Oh, God. And you stand in front of that door and preach about how the ladder is bad.
Right. That's what the fuck
There we
this
go.
is.
Yes, and. Damn.
And that's how you
What a
do
great
it.
pause point on her face to say all those words.
And that's how you do it, kids.
Whew, let's see. Let's let her ride out, see how much we can let her say before we have to stop her again.
Every man that you attempt to date, every man that you try to settle down with, if you're even trying to do that, you're now going to judge based upon that lens. Nobody's going to measure up. You can't have multiple men and act as if you're not going to have repercussions.
A lot of those where the audio drops, I think she's editing out her like saying words like sex and whatnot. 'Cause TikTok, for all the privacy and data they're jacking, they are some rules heavy motherfuckers on words.
Yeah.
Like people type in SEGGS for sex and shit
Yeah.
like that.
I forgot what the child abuse one was.
I know that for rape they say grape.
Yeah, there was something in particular about like child abuse, but like if you don't know it, it doesn't make sense because I don't know. It was like the word like envelopes or something. Like I don't remember what the word was. Some shit like
yeah.
that. And someone like kind of like was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And they were like, "Why are you defending child abuse?" And it's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, because yeah, nobody knows. But yeah. But yeah, it's also, she's just fucking goofy as shit. You can't have sex without repercussions.
God, all her pause points are hilarious.
They are.
No matter where
They
you
are.
pause, it looks great. She actually looks like the clown she is right now in that shot.
Oh no, you know what she's reminding me of, right?
The Grinch.
No.
Just a coon in
The
general.
Honk for Jesus movie where mime face at the end.
Woo!
Oh,
Honk
God.
for Jesus, folks. Watch that shit. And watch Megan with a 3.
Oh yeah, I liked
Megan with a
Megan.
3. It is fucking fun. It's like Evil Matilda. Watch it. It's great.
It's
Theory
feminist
suggests that
Chucky.
anytime a woman has
I'm going with that. It's feminist Chucky.
the lens, nobody's going to measure up. You can't have multiple men and act as if you're not going to have repercussions. Some theories suggest that anytime a woman has
The repercussions for sex with multiple men, not impregnated by multiple men, not caught STDs for multiple men, just sexual contact in and of itself is repercussions. Now, what if we took away this locker room talk slut shaming and all the kiss and tell?
Yeah.
Are there actually repercussions? You already gave the information on the fleshlight.
Yep.
Right? We don't do spiritual shit. There are no spirits. There are no repercussions, folks. I don't know if we could do like any sort of rebranding or new page as like dating advice, folks, or gurus.
But we should, honestly. Because I don't even know how people fucking date with like when this is the advice.
Yeah, like, because like to contextualize our branding takes too many words. Like, how do you narrow down niggas from poverty that don't have drama and how you can do it too?
I mean, that kind of is it, actually. That is the whole thing. But yeah, it's also interesting that she's using the word repercussions because that usually is considered to be a negative consequence. Like that term has like a judgment weight or like a moral weight to it, like
Consequences and repercussions.
negative. Yeah, negative. And it's like, but again, you're telling women that sex is bad and it hurts them, but then y'all want them to be fucking when they get married and do it at their husband's whim. You don't do it your whole life, and then once you get married, you have to do it whenever a man tells you to, even though you spent your whole life telling people that it's toxic and unhealthy and it has repercussions and consequences and negative influences.
And what do they ever say to boys about sexuality?
Don't fuck a hoe.
Like,
Use a condom sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, or here's one, right? Because they want all these women to be, they want every single woman to be a virgin, right? Because that exists. But have you heard this when you were coming up in the 90s? Hey, you gotta at least test it before you get married.
Yes.
You gotta test it.
But then the flip side of that was you have to tell him no because he won't buy the cow if he gets the milk for free because apparently I'm fucking livestock.
Well, she does look like she's about to say B word, I'm a cow.
Although, in our defense, though, although I got in so much trouble for saying this as a child, when someone did present the argument that you have to test it out, I was like, you should test it out with other men, because who else could give you a blowjob than someone else who has a penis? I bet you they already know what feels good on it.
You said it when you were a child. How old?
Like middle school.
Yeah. But then also, people shouldn't say stupid shit.
You probably shouldn't say that in a room full of conservative Christian adults, though. They will beat your ass.
That's your big problem. You were around fucking clown servers. Which also shows how much they believe in their arguments. Mm-hmm. Right? They would just make a better argument. Instead, they're like, fuck it, beaten to compliance, which is, again, like, the modern day conservative has the same ideology as the slaveholder.
Absolutely.
And people don't really get that because it sounds too extreme. But lay out the details, you can see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you have it in you.
Yeah. But I think that's why, like, this type of content irritates me so much, because I guarantee you these are black people who, like, they maybe know a little bit about white supremacy, or they maybe know a little bit about racism, or, like, you know, whiteness in general, but they did not, like, live in whiteness. Like, I was stuck in a house with people who eventually became Trump voters. Like, I was a minor under their legal jurisdiction, okay? I know a little bit about how white conservatives talk and think and view things, and y'all niggas sound like fucking white conservatives on every level and refuse to accept it. You know.
Man, he literally leaves his genetic material in her body. Think about it, just the anatomy of a woman. Right?
He leaves his genetic material in her body. Now, again, let's say that this is one of the gazillions of times in mammalian existence that the sperm cells don't fertilize the eggs. What, do they just stay in her body for the rest of her fucking life?
Forever. But then it's also funny to me, because if you're arguing that bodily fluids imprint your genetic material on somebody, man, fucking, like, daycare teachers have to be the most fucked up people on the planet, because I know they're fucking getting spit on and drooled on and pissed on and shit on and vomited on by kids all the fuck long day.
No, because it's not pleasure juice.
It's not pleasure juice. That's different. It's different if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fact. Again, great pause points.
But yeah, like, so yeah, apparently sperm never dies. It just stays in your body forever, I guess.
Yeah, that's what comes up in the autopsy reports. They're like, God damn, this hoe got 78 points of DNA. She was active.
Yeah.
Party time. Excellent.
Right? Anytime a man is entering into her woman, times that by 10, 20.
She really does not plan her sentences out.
She does not.
So let's hear that again, because she meant to say womb.
Of a woman, right? Anytime a man,
Oops.
he literally leaves his genetic material in her body. Think about it, just the anatomy of a woman, right? Anytime a man is in her woman, times that by 10, 20, 50. Let's say you're a woman walking around with the genetic material of 50 men in your body. That ain't gonna mess up your pH balance. But
do you think I fucked 50 men, like, in the same day? What the fuck are you talking about?
Your pH balance.
Like, what? What? These people are wild. And also, this is just like a side note, because this should always be in my head with these conversations. Y'all are mad disrespectful to rape victims. Because literally what you're telling someone who's been raped is that they will never be away from their rapist.
Oh.
If your genetic material never leaves, yeah, you will never fucking be away from the person who raped you. And that's fucking disgusting. I just want to put that out there.
I bet if you left that in the comments, it would either get ignored or like some fake apology. Yeah, that's
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. But I want to point out, because again, I believe in giving context. I don't just be saying vague shit to say vague shit, right? We had it. Who was that little white girl who got kidnapped? Was it Jessica something?
What, John Benet Ramsey?
No, she got murdered, not kidnapped and raped. Jessie Smart, was it?
Is this recent?
No, it was years ago. But she came from one of these white conservative Christian families, and their sex ed was one of those, like, everybody spit in a cup. This is your vagina if you have sex type things. So when she got kidnapped and she got raped, she refused to leave her kidnapper because she thought no one else would want her. She thought she had to stay with him forever. That is the type of shit that comes as a consequence of this, and that's fucking disgusting. Especially when you consider that the way, like, there's just men out here who are straight up fucking pedophiles, not just rapists, but pedophiles. Now, not only are you saying that if you've been raped, that you can't get away from your rapist. Imagine if you were a child when you were raped. You're telling fucking like girls who were like 10 years old when they got raped that even when they're 50, he's still there with you right the fuck now.
Yeah, I think
that's fucking gross, yo.
Yeah, stop right there. I'm gonna clip that out on its own and make that its own video.
Yeah, because I just like, I always think about that with these like situations, and it's really fucking disgusting, honestly. Let me see if I can find it. Elizabeth,
mess up your hormones.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry, the kidnapping case, it was Elizabeth Smart, and she was kidnapped in 2002 when she was 14 years old. That was her, and she was scared to leave because she thought she was like tainted. And that's the same shit you see it. Like, these people fucking love to talk about American exceptionalism. We hear stories from like Muslim countries, right? A woman got raped, she has to marry her rapist, otherwise she faces an honor killing. That's the shit they're advocating for.
2002. I think I read about that maybe like 05, 06.
Yeah.
It's familiar, but like the thing, like, because of me being a news nerd already and then doing the podcast work,
right,
I've read so many versions of that story.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah.
So I was like, oh God, which one?
Yeah.
All right. Again, great pause points. Fantastic. You see it.
She's mad because she's mad about what I just said.
Woo.
See men in your body. That ain't gonna mess up your pH balance. That ain't gonna mess up your hormones. That ain't gonna mess up your psychology.
Mess up your hormones.
Like, we act like we can do these.
What are you talking about?
Get homegrown intellectualism.
No, Christianity. She is
That
talking
too.
like a white Republican Christian right now.
But she has on a head wrap, family.
And that's why I keep saying, like, y'all need to stop pretending black people can't be conservative just because they aren't white or they aren't registered Republican voters or whatever. This is the exact same fucking way that they talked about sex ed to us when I was in a private Christian middle school. This was how our sex ed went.
These behaviors, and there's no repercussions, and that's not real life. That's maybe what you see on televisions. That's maybe what we see in these different series. But the reality of how it impacts you, it's not just physical, it's not just emotional, it's spiritual. It impacts you on every single level. This is why I don't agree with that.
And then, let's see, now I have a question, which no one ever answers because this is all bullshit and none of it is real. So, if my vagina is now tainted because I've had sex with more than one man, does that mean every man who has sex with me from here on out also gets tainted because his penis was in a tainted vagina? How come it never transfers back to men? It only stays in women. I have questions.
That Ice Cube line.
I just have some questions.
Yeah, because the fact is, the penis hole is a hole.
It's a hole.
And, like, through the penis hole, it's not just through, like... Yeah,
But
to my understanding, I've read back in the early 90s that AIDS can be contracted through that orifice, as small as it is, even though it's more likely to be through unlubricated sex and small cuts.
Yeah, or even like your skin in general. Your skin is not airtight. Your skin has holes in it. If your penis is in a vagina that's had another penis in it.
Hold on. Hold on, let's get back with the skin is not airtight part. Because niggas like to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Football, basketball, ball. Mm-hmm. And run into each other.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Yeah.
That's a lot of man juice. What's going on, fellas? Y'all a lot of jungle juice going on. Is that what they call it? Jungle juice?
Jungle juice.
I'm cool.
But seriously, the only time it's a problem is when it's in a woman's vagina. It's not a problem when men run into each other on a football field or a basketball court. It's not a problem when a man has sex with a woman who's had sex before. It's only a problem for her vagina. Now, why would that be? Because apparently it's misogyny, but it's something I can't quite put my finger on, and that's why it only impacts women.
Because the vagina bone's connected to the man feelings. And that's probably
that's literally what it is, though.
Oh, Jesus. All right, I think I may have taken quite a bit of your time. It is 12:46 in the p.m.
Is it? It is.
Don't know if it's ethical for me to be trying, because you have a job, you have homeschool, you have stuff to do. All right, and I have to do shift.
Yes.
Maybe I can catch up with Phoenix Kaliter Saturday.
Yes.
And we can run some swap casting. I don't think, do we need to go grocery shopping?
I don't think so. I think we have enough stuff. But yeah, we do have to record for swap on Saturday because I am watching that OnlyFans documentary this weekend. So
I should probably watch it too then.
yeah.
Only
so,
where is it streaming?
Netflix.
Netflix OnlyFans documentary, and this is so that we can critique it most likely because
Yeah,
it's probably bad.
I mean, I've heard it's not terrible, but not terrible doesn't mean good. And also, it's called Money Shot.
God damn it.
Like-
All right. Yep, they're going in corny. All right, they're
So-
going, and there's gonna be like that one deep, meaningful part, and then just in a cloud of corny.
Yeah, because I mean, I know they interview, like, I know some of the they interviewed, so I know they did actually interview sex workers, but I don't know how that comes out in terms of how it was like edited or put together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, yeah. Again, I've heard it's not terrible. Doesn't mean it's good, but I'm definitely gonna check it out. So.
Yep. Checking out a will do.